Dear friends, welcome to today's practice. And today we will be taking some time to offer awareness and compassion to our body by learning about our pelvic floor muscles. Before we begin, I would like us to come into a comfortable seat and we can practice some breathing together. Many times we are very busy and then we will have many thinking, many doing, many planning, many worrying, many dreaming, which can be quite nice. So now we will practice coming back to the present moment with our breath. Wherever you are seated, you can be sitting on a chair or you can be sitting on the ground. I invite you to bring your awareness to the sensations on the surface of your skin. So if you are sitting on the chair, maybe you can scoot forward towards the front edge of the chair so that your feet can be resting on the ground. And if you are seated on the chair, what we sometimes do is also to avoid leaning against the backrest. So we are allowing our spine to be upright without too much effort, just a little bit of effortless effort. Yes. So once you're upright and your shoulders are relaxed, we can begin to bring our awareness to the breathing. Breathing in. I know I am breathing in. Breathing out. I know I am breathing out. And usually I will offer 2 words for us to practice coming home to the breath. As we feel the breath coming in from our nose into our lungs, we can also feel the slightly warmer air coming out from our nose as we breathe out. In, out. And by these very simple words, 2 words, in, out, we can immediately come back to this present moment. Breathing in, my breath goes deep. Breathing out, my breath goes slowly. Deep. Slow. Following my breath from the beginning to the end. As I breathe in. Following my breath from the beginning to the end. As I breathe out. Nowhere to go, nothing to do. I am no longer in a hurry. And I touch the seeds of well-being inside me. The word well-being simply means to be in this present moment. We are expert in doing. However, the word is well-being, not well-doing. We can also be well-doing. But today, for now, we practice well-being first. In touch with the breath, in, out, deep, slow. Aware of my whole body breathing in, I breathe in. Aware of my whole body, breathing out, I breathe out. Aware of body, aware of body. As I breathe in, I notice that my lungs expand. Naturally, my rib cage also expand. I can feel my rib cage going to the back, going to the sides, flaring out like butterfly wings. I can feel my diaphragm also being pressed downwards because of the expansion of my lungs. And so breathing out in the same way, I allow the breath to gently leave, and I feel my rib cage melting, softening, hugging my lungs and my heart closer together. And naturally, as my lungs become almost airless, it creates a vacuum in my body and pulls the diaphragm upwards. Noticing that my lungs and my diaphragm, they are craving for a deep, joyful breath. I breathe in. And as I enjoy this deep, joyful breath, I exhale and I smile at my slow breath. Deep, slow. Calming my body. I breathe in. Caring for my body. I breathe out. Calming body. Caring for body. Thank you for breathing together. That was a short, possibly about 5 minutes of just coming back to the present moment and allowing ourselves to be in touch with our body. Today's discussion will be on the pelvic floor, where we become curious of what's inside our body. So for many of us, our pelvic floor may or may not be a very familiar place. We may not be fully aware of it, but sometimes some of us, we are very in touch with our body. So no matter where we are, no matter is this, are we very aware or are we very curious? Today we can offer ourselves compassion and presence to look at our body with fresh eyes. Just like a child coming into the world, they are filled with wonders of the world. The smallest thing can make them smile. So for the purpose of today's video, I would take reference from a pregnant body, and there will be some illustration to help us to visualize it a little bit better. Now I will be taking this time to bring out my slides, and I hope you can see the slides well. So as you can see here, we have a beautiful illustration of a woman's pregnant body. You will be able to see all the beautiful body parts. Starting from the top right-hand corner, we have the uterus, which is the pink thick lining. We have the beautiful blue fluid, that's the amniotic fluid that our baby is swimming in when they are in our womb. We also have the placenta, which is inserted as a nourishment organ for our baby. Umbilical cord wrapping around the baby. And then we have our cervix. We have our vagina, which most of us would also refer to as the birth canal during labor and birth. In front of your vagina, you have your bladder. In front of your bladder, this white piece is called the pubic bone. And very naturally, with the bladder, it extends down to where your urethra is. We will have at the back of the vagina, we have your anal sphincter, which is the opening of our rectum, followed by our sacrum, which is our tailbone, our lower back, and then the spine. So in more biological terms, it will be called the coccyx, but over here we mention it as the spine. Okay, so this is how our body looks like from the cross-sectional view. And for the purpose of our pelvic floor introduction today, I would like to introduce that most of us already are aware. In a woman's pelvic floor, we have three openings. One is our urethra, two is our vagina, three is our anal sphincter. I like to simplify them. Of course, we call it by its true name, which is what is the biological term, but sometimes I just simply explain the pee hole, the poop hole, as well as our birth canal, vagina hole, where our menstruation blood come out from, our baby come out from. So knowing that we have these three holes, it will allow us to visualize a little bit better when I guide us through our pelvic floor breathing. Now, the thing is, you may or may not have attended our classes at Kindle Space yet. So this video is more of an introduction of some of the common pelvic floor breathing that we introduce in class. I would also like to share here that in our studio, we practice openness, and there is no right and no wrong simply because there are many different ways that people are teaching about pelvic floor breathing. There's the physio way, there's the chiropractic way, there's TCM, there's the yoga energetics way. So who is right and who is wrong? We are not sure. Maybe one day we can find out. But for now, we practice what is easeful for the body and what we can connect to. Generally, in the studio, when we practice pelvic floor breathing, we allow ourselves to come into a awareness of the breathing, just like what we did at the start of the class. We are taking on the perspective as we breathe in, the lungs expand, it presses down the diaphragm, and therefore biomechanically we can imagine there's a gentle force already pressing down into our pelvic floor. Our pelvic floor muscles are a network of muscles that, well, they hold all our organs inside the body. So you can imagine that if the diaphragm is pressing down due to the gentle in-breath, there is a biomechanism of the pelvic floor also receiving a gentle pressure, and we can use this natural rhythm to visualize expanding and opening our pelvic floor muscles even more. Vice versa, as we exhale, you can visualize when you breathe out, your lungs are deflated, it pulls up the diaphragm, and as it pulls out the diaphragm, very naturally, we can also assume there is a biomechanism where it will lift the pelvic floor. So as we inhale, diaphragm comes down, pelvic floor can sit, relax, and as we exhale, we can pull up the pelvic floor as the breath lifts and lifts and lifts. So this is one perspective, and sometimes we can also practice visualization. Imagine that we are sitting on the floor, and with our pelvic floor, especially at the vagina, when we exhale, we are picking up a blueberry, or we can be pulling a tissue out of a tissue box, or we can also visualize sucking up a jelly bean, right? So it depends on which visualization will feel more aligned inside your body. The one that feels most aligned in your body will naturally be the one that we can practice with more easefulness. There are many people who have the assumption that they may not be strong enough to push the baby out, or they feel like they are not flexible enough. This is a discussion for next time. We allow ourselves to come back to the present moment with the breath. We understand that by worrying about whether we are too strong or we are not strong enough, too flexible or not flexible enough, that will not really help. The worrying doesn't really help, but the simple breathing is what matters. Sorry, that was my eldest daughter. So coming back to pelvic floor breathing, let's try one time. Okay, so find yourself a comfortable seated position. And what we're going to do is you're going to visualize that there is a hammock on your pelvic floor. So as you are sitting down, we will visualize that there's a rhombus or a diamond shape on the sitting area, which is from the anal sphincter to the two sit bones, the two pointy bones on your butt, all the way to the front where your urethra is. So this is like this rhombus that can go up and down in tandem with our diaphragm as we breathe. Release your breath completely with a long exhale. And then as you take a deep breath in, you can feel the breath coming in through your nose, and a long exhale. Perhaps you might want to exhale from your lips, making a small O shape so that we can lengthen our exhale breath. Some of us can visualize as though we are blowing a birthday candle. We are gently wavering the flame instead of blowing it out. So your exhale breath is a gentle breath as though you are making the flame of a candle dance. Breathing in, we feel our chest, belly soften completely. And as we breathe out, we can begin to visualize engaging and pulling up our pelvic floor, perhaps with the visualization of pulling up a tissue paper, a jelly bean, or picking up a blueberry. And as we inhale, we can once again, as the breath comes in through the nose, you can start to release your pelvic floor down. We will continue to practice like this for 5 times. You may pause the video and allow yourself to practice. Before you pause the video, I would also have a gentle reminder to keep your thigh bones and your butt cheeks relaxed. Soften your forehead as well and soften your jaw. So this is why we have that O-shaped lips. Now, if you're pausing the video, you can practice 5 to 10 rounds of your pelvic floor breathing. Mhm. Welcome back. I hope that you have enjoyed your practice. And this time round, I will introduce a little bit more verbal instructions on how we can evolve this pelvic floor breathing. So, the second version of this pelvic floor breathing can be used during pregnancy and after birth as well. It's a simple breathing exercise. So dear friends who are watching this video while you're pregnant, you may want to make a little note, a little marking at the timestamp, because When you are postpartum, you can come back to the same video again. And well, if you want to listen from the start, you can. Otherwise, you can just jump straight to this point. So the next one we are going to practice is again very similar. Now we are going to relax your shoulders. You're welcome to lie down on the side. Lie down on your left side or your right side, and you may feel it even more. Or you are welcome to lie down on your back for our postpartum friends. When you're ready setting up yourself, I would like you to really relax your shoulders and relax your facial muscles. And then let's begin. Breathing in, I know I am breathing in. Breathing out, I know I am breathing out. In, out. Breathing in, I allow my pelvic floor to soften and relax. No tension, nowhere to go, nothing to do. Breathing out, I begin to draw my pelvic floor gently upwards as though I'm picking up a blueberry. I feel a slight tightening sensation. Keeping the engagement, I take a deeper breath into my chest. And as I exhale, I'm going to try to draw my pelvic floor up even higher. And then breathing in, I release my pelvic floor centimeter by centimeter, segment by segment until it is completely, fully relaxed. Let's try that again. Let it all go. Sigh the breath out. Breathing in. My pelvic floor sits as it is. Breathing out, I draw my pelvic floor up, perhaps towards my pubic bone. Breathing into my chest. Exhaling, breathing out, I bring my pelvic floor almost up to my belly button. Breathing in, I lower my pelvic floor all the way down towards the ground. I will guide us one more time. Breathing in, pelvic floor sits. Feel free to wriggle and shift your hips side to side to reset. Breathing out, almost as though we have 3 flowers in our pelvic floor. Close the flowers as I breathe out. With the flowers closed, breathing into my chest, hold. Keep the breath. And as we exhale, we keep the breath going. We pull these 3 flowers up towards my belly button, or you can visualize up towards your chest as well. And breathing in, I allow my pelvic floor to go all the way down to the ground. Inhale, this is my in breath. Exhale, this is my out breath. Breathing in, I am aware of my body inside out. Breathing out, I relax my body outside in. Aware of my body inside out. Relaxing my body outside in. Inside out. Outside in. Feel free to pause the video again if you would like to practice this short method, or maybe 5 times, 10 times. Now, once again, there are so many school of thoughts out there. Information can be very empowering. It can also be very paralyzing when we are overwhelmed with too much and we don't know what to do. For simplicity and to go back to the practice in the studio, we encourage pelvic floor breathing after you go to the toilet. So we will only practice this when your bladder is empty, because our pelvic floor is supposed to be doing its job. We don't want to train it in a way to go against what it is designed to do. So yes, you can practice this while you're waiting at the traffic light, on the bus, waiting for your food, while you're filling up your water bottle. So many opportunities to practice. Just remember, relax your butt cheeks, relax your thighs, relax your face. Long exhale by either blowing the breath out or going shh, or making the S sound. This is the little trick. Because your exhalation is longer, you'll be able to feel the drawing and the pulling up sensation as well. Last but not least, before we finish this short video, also reminding ourselves to practice how to relax your pelvic floor. So if we do too much of our pulling and tensing and going up, it's great. It could be helpful, but also paying attention to letting go on your inhale breath. So as you inhale, you can also visualize bringing in a lot of space, a lot of oxygen to every single cell in your pelvic floor. Our pelvic floor is so important to us. It helps us to keep our organs in. It helps us to take care of and release all the food that we eat, because otherwise we wouldn't be able to go to the toilet. So as you're practicing your pelvic floor breathing, you can also offer a lot of loving kindness thoughts to your pelvic floor. Thank you for being healthy. Thank you for being how you are. Maybe there are some times where we struggle a little bit. And so we can practice sending this gratitude and acceptance to our pelvic floor as we do the breathing. Last but not least, I should have said this at the start, but I also want to share that if you're practicing your pelvic floor breathing and it brings out a certain emotion inside of you, a certain feeling that makes you feel unpleasant feeling, uncomfortable feeling, I will invite you to come back to your breathing. Breathing in, I know I am breathing in. Breathing out, I know I am breathing out. Just breathe in and breathe out. Keep it simple, okay? Sometimes our body may hold some memories that we may have pleasant or unpleasant feelings about. So if that comes up to you in your practice, you can allow yourself to process the feelings, of course, but feelings come and feeling go. Please allow your conscious breathing to be your anchor with the very simple poem. Breathing in, I know I am breathing in. Breathing out, I know I am breathing out. For myself, I say these two lines all the time. Every time, whenever I'm awake, whenever I find myself needing a bit of anchoring, I would just repeat these two lines in my heart until I can feel like I'm a bit more safe and solid again. So this is all I have for you for our introduction to pelvic floor breathing. And we may release a few more eventually, and I hope to practice with you together again. Thank you, and may your practice be well, and may you be well as well.